In the heart of Africa, surrounded by rolling hills and dense forests, lay the vibrant village of Tambiko. The village was small but full of life, with huts made of clay and thatched roofs that glimmered in the sun. As the new year approached, the entire community buzzed with excitement. This was their favorite time of year, a time for renewal, joy, and togetherness. Preparations began a week in advance. The village square, normally quiet, was now a hub of activity. The women of Tambiko gathered under the shade of a towering baobab tree, their hands busy weaving colorful mats and sewing long banners. Each banner was adorned with symbols of hope, prosperity, and unity, stitched with bright threads that shimmered like sunlight. Mama Nia, the most skilled weaver, led the group. "Every stitch matters," she told the younger women, her voice steady and wise. "These decorations will carry our wishes into the new year." While the women worked, the children darted through the meadows, their laughter echoing across the fields. Their task was simple but important: collecting flowers to make garlands. Little Kofi, the youngest among them, carried a basket almost as big as himself. He stopped every few steps to admire a bright red blossom or a delicate yellow petal. "Look!" he called to his friends, holding up a flower. "This one is perfect for the big tree." By midday, their baskets overflowed with vibrant blooms, ready to be transformed into decorations. The men of the village were equally busy. Some worked on repairing the huts, making sure the thatched roofs were secure and the clay walls smooth. Others focused on gathering wood for the New Year's bonfire. This wasn't just any fire, it was a tradition as old as the village itself. The bonfire, built in the center of the square, symbolized the burning away of the past year's troubles and welcoming the blessings of the year to come. Elder Zuberi, the village's storyteller and guide, moved from hut to hut, sharing his wisdom and encouragement. His long walking stick tapped rhythmically against the ground as he spoke to the villagers. "The new year is a gift," he said to a group of children gathered around him. "It is a chance to forgive, to hope, and to grow. Together, we will make it special." The children listened intently, their eyes wide with wonder. As the preparations continued, the village began to transform. The square, once plain and dusty, was now vibrant with color. Garlands of flowers hung from the trees, and the newly woven mats lined the pathways. The air was filled with the delicious aroma of cooking. Women prepared yams, stews, and sweet millet porridge in large clay pots over open fires. Occasionally, someone would pause their work to taste a dish or adjust the spices, ensuring everything was perfect for the celebration. The drummers, an essential part of the festivities, began their rehearsals in the late afternoon. Seated in a circle, they practiced beats that resonated deep in the villagers' hearts. Children gathered around to watch, clapping and swaying to the rhythm. The music carried a promise of joy, a reminder that soon the village would come alive with dance and song. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the village glowed with soft, golden light. Lamps made from hollowed gourds were lit, their warm flicker casting playful shadows on the newly decorated square. Though tired from a long day, the villagers felt a sense of pride and excitement. They knew these preparations were not just for the celebration. They were a way to honor their traditions and strengthen the bonds that held their community together. The night before the New Year's Eve celebration, Tambiko was alive with hope. Each task completed, every stitch sewn, and every beat of the drum brought them closer to a new beginning. The final day before New Year's Eve dawned bright and clear, with a golden sun rising over the hills. The villagers of Tambiko woke early, eager to finish the last of their preparations. The air was filled with excitement, and a sense of purpose flowed through every street and hut. By mid-morning, The square was a masterpiece of color and life. The women had hung the garlands of flowers collected by the children, draping them over the trees and the wooden posts surrounding the square. The banners, stitched with care, fluttered in the gentle breeze, their vibrant patterns telling stories of hope and resilience. Mama Nia and her team of weavers inspected every corner, ensuring that no detail was overlooked. "This is our best work yet," she said with a proud smile. The children, now free from their duties, played games in the square. They skipped and danced, their laughter a joyful melody that complemented the drum beats echoing in the background. Little Kofi had tied a flower garland around his head, pretending to be the king of the new year, much to the delight of his friends. The men were busy assembling the giant bonfire. It stood tall in the center of the square, its base made of sturdy logs, and its top layered with dry branches and straw. Elder Zuberi watched closely, his sharp eyes scanning the structure. "This fire will light the path to a better year," he said solemnly. "Make it strong so it burns brightly." His words filled the villagers with determination, and they worked together to ensure the bonfire was perfect. As the sun began to set, the villagers gathered in the square, dressed in their finest clothes. The women wore brightly patterned dresses, and the men donned colorful robes and headscarves. Even the children had small beads and flowers woven into their hair. The entire village sparkled with life and anticipation. Elder Zuberi stood at the center, his staff in hand, and signaled for silence. "Tonight, we come together not just to celebrate, but to let go of the past," he said, his voice steady and clear. "We leave behind our worries, our hardships, and our pain, and we welcome the new year with hope, unity, and joy." With that, the drummers began to play. Their rhythms started slow and steady, building into an energetic beat that made everyone's feet tap and their hearts race. The villagers formed a circle around the bonfire, clapping and swaying to the music. One by one, they stepped forward to toss small tokens into the fire, dried leaves, old trinkets, and even pieces of paper with handwritten notes. These were symbols of the burdens they wished to leave behind. As the bonfire roared to life, its flames leaping high into the night sky, the square erupted in celebration. The villagers danced around the fire, their movements a blend of tradition and joy. Children twirled with abandon, their faces glowing in the firelight. The aroma of the feast, roasted yams, spiced stews, and sweet millet porridge, mingled with the scent of burning wood, creating an atmosphere of warmth and comfort. Elder Zuberi began to tell one of his famous stories, his voice rising and falling in rhythm with the drums. He spoke of a time long ago when the village faced a great drought, but survived through unity and determination. "Just as we overcame that hardship," he said, "we will face whatever the new year brings together as one family." The celebration continued late into the night. As the flames of the bonfire began to die down, the villagers gathered for the feast. They shared stories, laughter, and promises for the year ahead. Children dozed off in their parents' arms, their dreams filled with the colors and sounds of the night. By the time the first light of dawn touched the horizon, Tambiko was quiet again. The bonfire's embers glowed softly, and the decorations swayed gently in the morning breeze. The villagers returned to their homes, tired but content, ready to face the new year with open hearts and hopeful spirits. Tambiko had done more than celebrate. It had renewed its bond as a community, proving once again that together they could create magic.